Spiritual Living. We're an open, loving, inclusive spiritual community, and we welcome you. And if you're here for the first time, please raise your hand. We have a special gift for you. All right, and Mary and Chris will be passing those. So raise your hand so they can see you, and they will bring something to you. In there is a card for you if you can fill out. That would be absolutely great. We can find out how you found out about our center. And then also, too, whoops, somehow I've lost my mic. All right, and then also, too, for the congregants, we have inside of the folder, there's prayer request if you'd like to fill that out. And if you happen to be watching us online, you can check out our website, also more information about our website, because Tavis is over here filming it for our Facebook today. So thank you very much. So I'm going to turn it over to Sharon.
I bow to the divine in you. I feel your light, see it shining through. I am grateful you are here today. Good morning, friend, I must stay. I bow to the joy in you. I feel your bliss, see it shining through. I am grateful you are here today. Good morning, friend, I must stay. I bow to the love in you. I feel your heart, see it shining through. I am grateful you are here today. Good morning, friend, I must stay. I bow to the truth in you. Feel your spark, see it shining through. I am grateful you are here today. Good morning, friend, I must stay. Good morning, all, now I must stay.
Thank you, Laura, for the beautiful meditation. And so now, take 1 minute here to meet someone you've not met before. Give them a hug. You know, introduce yourself.
Hey, good morning. Are you friends with Fred? I don't know. I do people here that I never
Good, how are you?
Hi.
How are you?
Mark, I think I've seen you before. I'm Jackie. One of these days I'm going to give you a time to grab me. I always have to shuffle through. We're going to try and get together. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. How are you, good sir? Good. How are you?
How are you?
Good morning. Mark. Good.
He's doing that too. Hello. Good morning. Good to see you. Jackie. Okay.
Oh, this is you filming, huh? Yeah. Ah, cool. Great. Yeah, first time.
We've got some great music today with Marina, Terry, and Cheryl. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to say thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful. So grateful. So I want to say thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. this healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day.
Good morning. I will now go into prayer and invite you to close your eyes if you are comfortable in doing so. God of all creation, we come today to honor you in the magnificence of this beautiful, warm winter morning, and to remind ourselves of your essential and important place in our lives. I sense, feel, and know your mighty divine presence as I breathe here right now. I am one with this all-pervading presence. I am one with love energy. This is true about me, and it's true about everyone here, because there is only one life, and we are one with God. We ask for your blessings on this gathering, your blessings for Reverend Laura in her absence, for Sharon Shores, our practitioner speaker today, for our musicians, for our Meditate coordinator, and for all those who have volunteered their services today in readying the sanctuary for this gathering. We ask that your wisdom would guide us as we seek to open our hearts to Sharon's message today and to the message that our musicians bring to us. We ask that we may grasp those things that you want us to understand, and we are fully open to the wisdom and clarity that is available to us this day. We ask that may our hearts always be ready to respond to you and your wisdom. Please help all of us to remember to love one another forever, and no matter what, to forgive one another, to forgive ourselves, and to take care of one another. We are so blessed. Thank you for the opportunities you give us to serve you and to serve others. Blessed be, and so it is.
As you already realized, this song is a call and response song. So we are going to run through it again, and we absolutely invite you to lift your voices and share this gratitude with us. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit, thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, oh thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful, grateful, so grateful, I'm grateful, 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 so grateful. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Each and every day I'm gonna say thank you, thank you, thank you. There you go. You're all right. Science might teaches us that there is a force in the universe and that we can use it. Not only can we, but we do. Sometimes we don't do it directly or intentionally, but we are certainly invited to focus our faith and focus our desire to create the life that we want. Well, the problem is not you haven't got. You got everything you need, and the proof can be found, springing from the ground. There's a mighty tree from just a little seed. Know what we want here is to get very clear. Put our heart's desire first, till we make up our mind. We're sure to find the questioning voice of the universe, asking what is your intention? What do you want to do? Tell me what is your intention? What can I do for you? Tell me what is your intention? What do you want to be? And what? Just tell me what will make you free. Well, you don't need to know just how it's gonna go. Give the details up for now, when there's nothing in between you and your dream. That's more important than the where, when, or how. 'Cause life's precious gold is an ember in our soul, waiting to become a fire. And no matter the choice, there's always a voice saying, I will give you more than you can desire. Just tell me what is your intention? What do you want to do? Tell me what is your intention? What can I do for you? Tell me what is your intention? What do you want to be? And what? Just tell me what will bring you peace. Or what? Just tell me what will make you free. Intention.
Thank you, Cheryl. That's beautiful. I asked her to consider singing that song. It was one that I absolutely love, and it by Robert Anderson. You won't find it on the internet. You will find their albums on there, and there's a whole series of albums. So, you have me today. All right. Reverend Laura is off on some adventure. She's going to an installation of another minister plus a retreat, you know, and then also too, 3 Sundays a month she'll be preaching. So 1 Sunday a month you'll get one of us, possibly another minister. Okay, so the title is How to Use It. For those of you who are new to Science of Mind, it's How to Use the Science of Mind Principles. And I have some good news, and I have some bad news, okay? All right? The good news, you are using the principles whether or not you know it or not. And that's also the bad news, because you're using them regardless of whether or not you know it or not. So Reverend McDowell, in an article in Science of Mind, says, hardcore metaphysics begins with the premise that God is the one presence and the one power in the universe. In reality, everything is perfect and complete at all times. We're always demonstrating because consciousness demonstrates itself. So whatever we're demonstrating out in our life or our results in our life is as a result of us using these principles either knowingly or unknowingly. We don't necessarily have to know how to use them. They are impartial. The law or the spirit or the science of mind laws or principles do not care who uses them. A law is immutable. It's unchangeable. And so anybody can use these laws. But they can use them correctly for benefit for their life, or they can use them incorrectly for your life. However, if one is not creating the desired demonstrations, if you really want the desired demonstration, you must study the basics of New Thought and practice the principles that produce magnificent healing, prosperity, and breakthroughs. So I want to recap a little bit because we do have some guests in the room. So this is the last of the series of how to use the Science of Mind principles. And we have them also on our Google YouTube channel, right? We can go back and they can actually review those. So the previous sermons that Reverend Laura gave, I'm going to recap these a bit. The week 1 was back to the basics, and it was called The Thing Itself. There is a universal mind, spirit, intelligence that is the origin of everything. It is first cause. It is God. This universal life and energy finds an outlet in through all that is energized in everything that lives. There is one life back of everything that lives. You, me, everyone. Everyone in the whole world, everyone in the whole universe. This one energy back of all is energized. Okay, this energy is in everything. There is one spirit back of all expression. The principles are universal. We are not held in bondage by the principles. We are held in bondage by the use or misuse of the principles. So the principles don't bind us. The seed of freedom is planted within each of us, and like the prodigal son or daughter, we must come back home to ourselves. Because in the week 1, the thing itself, Reverend Laura, went over and, basically the kingdom is within. We find that within ourselves. We find that spirit within us that is emanating in through everything and everyone. The person next to you, we are all expressions of the one spirit. We are individualized, but we are not separate. Week 2, she emphasized the way it works, and Ernest emphasized that the only way of the universal presence to show up is through an outlet, and the outlet is us. The flow of creative life is from the invisible center outward. Every person is an inlet also, and is an outlet to this river of life. So we're always taking in from our environment, from our families, from the collective consciousness. We're also taking in information, ideas, and thoughts. And those are getting processed through that creative process. Then she goes on to say that every person is an inlet and an outlet to this river of life. Those who have followed their individual stream back to the original source, have found an ocean of life in which they are immersed. If you remember, she talked about the principles or the characteristics of the ocean. The drop of the ocean has the same characteristics as the whole ocean itself. And so it is with each one of us that we have the same characteristics as the source does, this ultimate source of spirit. And if you recall, she had probably about 80 some names up there that we call it. We call it divine, we call it love, we call it spirit, we call it God. You know, so there's many names for this. Week 3 talked about what it does. You are never limited by principle. Limitation is a result of the limited use of these principles. You can come but to one conclusion, is that there is something which honors your belief, not in a big way or in a little way. Rather, it honors your belief as you believe it. So remember when she said you have to get your as, A-S, bigger than it is done unto you as you believe? It's not if you believe, it's as you believe. So whatever your belief is, that's how this principle is going to respond to you. It's not what you want or what you say you want. It's actually what are the beliefs that are held in that part of your mind that you've adopted that may not be yours. They may belong to your family. For your family of origin, there may be a belief of scarcity that is sitting there. You know, so those are some of the beliefs that it honors us as we believe. So this brings us to week 4, and it's how to use it. And we are using these principles whether or not we're conscious of it or not. In fact, most people are unconscious to their use of the principles. They actually think that things are happening to them rather than through them. So our life is a mirror. What things that are happening to us are actually happening through us. Even the collective conscious groups that are going on out there, all the different political upsets and everything, it's a group think that a group of people are thinking into, and the results are not necessarily so good. So let's take some colors. If you had 2 crayons in your hand, one's yellow and one's blue, okay? Well, one's yellow and one's green. One's yellow and one's green. If you're going to blend those together, what color are you going to get? Okay? If I give it the crayons to Larry, is he going to get the same result? He's going to get the same result. Every one of us is going to get the same result. If we have a blue and yellow crayon or blue and yellow paint and we blend it together, we're going to get green. Now it's going to change a bit, because if I use a little bit extra blue or a little bit extra yellow, it's going to change just a bit. But the essence of the principle of the color is going to remain the same. It's the same thing with gravity. Gravity works no matter who jumps off the building. It's going to work, all right, unless I have a parachute, which is going to defy gravity in some sense. But if equally I drop something from a building, they're gonna fall. It's still gonna fall. Gravity works. That's a principle. And it's the same thing with spirit. So when we're asking spirit for something in our lives, we're asking for something to change, we have to take a look at what beliefs have we bought into that may not be ours. Okay? So what Reverend Laura did the handout the other day. There's a few more of them back here of the creative process. And if you recognize, that's the same symbol that's right down here on the podium, the creative process. So if we misuse the spiritual laws or we're ignorant of these laws, okay, it could be that we don't believe they work, or we believe the opposite of what the desire is. Perhaps we're doubting and changing our minds. So the use of the law, there's a lot of things we can do. Affirmative prayer is one of them. Visualization is another. There's a lot of things that we can actually do to increase our use of the law. So this one here, we're always using these principles, whether or not we're conscious of them or not. Ernest Holmes says, we are surrounded by an infinite intelligence that responds to our thought according to the law. This infinite intelligence is always responding to us, always responding to us. And it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be immediate. So we could have a thought, a month ago, 10 years ago, about something, and that thought or that seed is lying dormant. And perhaps it's being nourished. It might be nourished by what some people say. It might be nourished by the collective consciousness, the belief in disease, the belief in poverty. So that seed gets nourished, and that seed starts to grow and then manifest into your life. So there was a Bible verse that says, a house cannot be divided against itself. And so if it's done unto you as you believe, and your belief is held in your subconscious that you don't deserve something. Let's say, for instance, I want a massive amount of wealth. Okay, this is a little plastic thimble. Okay, for those of you who don't know what a thimble is, it's a sewing tool. Okay, now if I go to Spirit with that request, but I go with the belief that is this size, how is Spirit going to answer me? Is it going to be answering me in the desire of what I want, or what I've said I want, or is it going to be answering me based on my belief? It's going to be an answer based on the belief, and that's where we work in Science of Mind to use these principles, the Science of Mind principles, to change our beliefs, to change those beliefs perhaps that were given to us or we adopted unknowingly or knowingly. So our belief actually sets the limit of our demonstration or results. However, if you go to visit a practitioner or Reverend Laura, we can use affirmative prayer to actually tap into this universal consciousness. Universal consciousness then can help us change those beliefs, but help us manifest potentially what we desire in our life, whether that be better health, whether that be increased prosperity, whether that be it means a spouse or a significant other. Reverend Laura said last week that Spirit is reciprocal. What we think into it, we get back. Also, creation is the first spiritual mental law, and in its manifestation, we get the results. So all thought is creative, and especially the thought that we give feeling to. So pay attention to the thoughts you're giving feeling to, regardless of where those thoughts are coming from. If they're your thoughts, and you have this thought of, you've got a sign of a cold, or and you're saying, I am sick, or I am not feeling well, you are speaking those words into your life. So in order to change that, absolutely know that the Spirit within you, that universal consciousness, is more powerful than you actually know. You can tap into that vision of health and healing for yourself. I'm going to give you an example of that, and this is a personal example. I may have shared this at another sermon. So it was 25 years ago. Wasn't feeling well. I was playing volleyball and I fell and hit my wrist, and something was going on in the wrist. I thought I'd fractured it. And I ended up going to the doctors, and about 3 months later, they diagnosed me with both rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. This was 25 years ago, and at that time, I was in a Science of Mind church. I knew some of the spiritual principles, and I knew absolutely that I could use them for my health and well-being. So when I went to the doctor, she said to me, I'm going to send you to a rheumatologist. You have these diseases, and you need to be put on this and that. And I put my hand up, and I said, stop. My body's exhibiting the symptoms. The I of me is healthy. All right? And I literally didn't want to hear. I told her I was not going to speak the words that I have this disease or that I am this disease. So what I did was I actually went into prayer, affirmations, visualizations. I also went to a Chinese medicine man, and he put together this awful concoction of some things with bugs, and I don't know what else was in it, but I drank it, okay. I went back 60 days later and was retested, and the tests were negative. The tests are still negative today. occasionally I'll have a sign or symptom of something just to make sure it's not. So I've been tested, I think, twice over the last 20 years, and they're still negative. We can access that power within us, that power through us, of that universal consciousness for health, for healing, for prosperity. You know, and it's not just a one-time wave the magic wand and everything's fine. It's a process. It's a daily process of absolutely knowing that I am connected to that one power, that one spirit, that is in absolute perfection, that is love, that absolutely doesn't know anything else but health and complete health. So you can tap into that as an individual. You can tap into that for prosperity. So all thought is creative. Thought creates a mold according to the nature or the impulse or the conviction behind the thought. And if you noticed, when the physician said to me, "You're going to go to a doctor with business," stop. You know, I wasn't about to allow the words come in that I was, quote, sick, I was ill, that I had this, what would be considered in most cases, that most people buy into, a devastating or two devastating diseases. Okay. Our soul will never violate its own nature. Okay, so what that means is this. If you remember in the symbol, the top of the symbol represents spirit. Spirit is always moving through. The middle section is the soul. It's also, Reverend Laura, as she explained, it's also the soil. The soil is that place where a thought is nurtured. It's nurtured, it's given energy. So you can think this even in the terms of reproduction. Spirit, the male aspect is spirit imparting into. The soul or the soil is the female aspect, or the mother nature, the receptive nature. And then you have the body, or you have the child, the result out of that. So you can think of this trinity in various ways. It could be spirit, soul, body. It could be love, law, and effect. It could be seed, soil, and plant. So if you look at it like that, take a look at what is in the soil right now, perhaps. If you could just get into your heart and mind, into the soil of your subconscious, and begin to take a look at what kind of things have been planted there, or that you planted. You know, if it is hate, anger, forgiveness, resentment, if it's all those things, remember, as Reverend Laura explained last week, there's that involution, the arrow going down on the left side, but there's also the evolution, all right, bringing it back out. So if what's in there is not so good, we have to bring that up for attention to be healed. Bring that up to attention to be healed. The law of mind is the law in the spiritual world. We use it to manifest into our lives. If the spirit always says yes, because think about this, spirit always says yes. It doesn't say yes to what we does. If it says yes, for instance, I want $1 million, okay? It's saying yes, not to that I want $1 million, but it's saying yes to my belief that is right in my subconscious. And if my belief is this size, then that's what it's responding to. You know, the same thing with health. You know, speak health into your life. Speak prosperity into your life. So spirit and law works together hand in hand and builds and rebuilds according to our faith and our belief. And it doesn't stop. Even as you are sitting here, spirit is creating, recreating. The energy of this room is being moved. You know, someone beside you, you know, the thoughts that are coming and going, the spirit is always creating in this world, in this community, in this nation, and in every nation across the world. If you would investigate behind every condition, whether it's of the body or it's of the environment, there has been some thought or consciousness, it can be either conscious or unconscious, that produced that condition. It could be passed down from generations. It doesn't have to be just in this generation. It could be passed down. It could be passed down ancient years ago into different civilizations. And that's why in the Bible, I think they say, with all thy getting, get understanding. Because if you can understand that everything that we think has potential energy to be manifested into something, I'm sure most of us would take control of our thoughts a little bit more than what we do. So last night when I went to sleep, my thoughts were this, and I actually said them to myself. I am healthy, I am well, I am thankful, I am grateful, I am thankful for my family, I'm thankful for my husband, I'm thankful for this beautiful day. You know, those are my thoughts before I go to sleep. They're never of, what the hell happened today, you know, or anything like that, or rerunning things in my mind that didn't happen, or things that went wrong. Always plant those seeds into your subconscious before you go to sleep at night. Those seeds that you want to manifest the next morning, the next day, the next week, the next year into your life. So how much can we demonstrate? We can demonstrate as much as we can believe. So if our belief is this size, that's the amount I'm going to demonstrate. Whereas if my belief is this size, I will demonstrate something of that size. It may not happen immediately. There's such the essence of time. But also, too, if my thoughts the next 5 minutes say, I hope this will happen, okay? Or I say, well, maybe it will happen. I've now taken that power out of the universal law. And so when we have doubts and fear, and when we say our affirmation or we say our realization into our prayer, and we take it back. In other words, it's like we've planted the seed, and now we're going to take it back. We're going to pull it up out of the pot, and we're going to take a look at the roots, okay? And we're going to try to see how much did it grow. We continue to do that. Will that plant or will that seed manifest? Yes or no? No, it won't. You know. So we should learn to control our thought processes and bring them into line, in alignment with universal spirit. Thought should tend more and more toward an affirmative attitude of mind that is positive, stable, above all else, toward a real unity with spirit that is already complete and perfect in every aspect, complete and perfect. So the good news is, mind is the active cause in your life, okay? And that could be on the other side of it too. The bad news could be, mind is the active cause in your life. It's not, it's your mind, all right, in relation to the great spirit mind. Okay, that mind is responding to your mind. Put every negative thought out of your mind, begin to blot it out, one by one, false beliefs and ideas that you have about yourself or even others. If you have judgment against others, you have anger against others, there is no other. All right, there's one power, one presence, and remember, we are all in this energy together. We are individualized, but we are still one. So what I do to myself, in essence, I do to another person. What you do to another person, I'm doing to myself. If I do something to another person, I'm doing to also myself. So when you focus your mind on your intentions in a conscious manner, and that's why I love this song, Intentions, because it's the words is that universal spirit is waiting for you. What are your desires? What are your intentions? Make them clear. Okay, make sure you're making them clear. Making them clear also may be the process of going through using some of our daily spiritual practice that Reverend Laura talks so highly about, you know, and she's done a beautiful job bringing all of those into this center, the affirmative prayer, the affirmations, use of affirmations, forgiveness work. Her sermons, I think for the Our second month was all about forgiveness. And contemplation, the beautiful workshop that was last week. Visualization, gratitude, meditation. These are daily practices that we do in order to keep our conscience clear. Because the first time I turn on CNN or Fox or, I've got these images, I've got these messages coming back into me. I must keep my conscience clear. When you focus your mind on your intentions in a conscious manner, your intentions tend to manifest through the law of mind. Bringing your thoughts and feelings into alignment with positive expectation of your good is the key to a life that is fulfilling and joy-filled. See only what you wish to experience and look at nothing else. Don't give anything else energy. That's not saying don't be active or don't be proactive in helping another person, but don't give it so much energy that it starts to create energy in your life. Practice, practice, practice. Daily spiritual practice. Our minds are like gardens. We must cultivate the thoughts and feelings we desire. And like we cultivate the flowers we want to experience, we also have to take out the weeds, the negative. We don't necessarily have to pull them out by the root, but we overwhelm them with such good thoughts to where the negative no longer has energy. Because in essence, the negative thoughts are still there, but the power that they have, they would no longer have power over you. So, how many of you have intentionally planted weed seeds into your garden, right? Or unconsciously, maybe unconsciously you've done it, okay? All of us have, And it's also, too, I'm really a firm believer of everything that we take into our mind, we're planting seeds. Whether or not we think the sitcom on violence is just a sitcom on violence, it's not so. There's things that are being planted into our mind that we're not really aware of. So take control of your thoughts. Take control of everything that enters into your mind. So we turn our attention to the garden that we want. We keep our focus. We practice daily, nurture the good, and it manifests. So the science of mind is about doing this in a consistently constructive manner. Turn toward the light in your life like a sunflower turns toward the sun automatically and naturally. When we do our practice daily, diligently, conscientiously, we create an automatic mechanism which, in turn, moves us toward our good. It moves us toward that pure potentiality of spirit within us. So see the life as you desire it to be without any sense of worry or hurry, and allow the law to work for you. So the science of mind shows us how to use our minds to create our experience of reality. And just remember, everything that we're seeing out there is also a reflection within. It's a reflection within of what am I holding in my belief system that is still giving energy to that. Daily train our thought to recognize the spirit in everything we do, say, and think. Step into that knowing of the oneness and the unification, absolutely knowing the truth of our being. And I want to say something here because as a science of mind practitioner, when we do the 5-step prayer and we do the recognition, the first step, as you remember, is recognition. It's recognizing that one power, one presence. That one power, one presence that moves in and throughout everything. The person sitting in front of me that I'm working with. Okay, not only that person's family, that person's community. There is that recognition of the one power and the one presence. I am in that. So the second step of unification then says that I am one in that spirit. If I get it up here in my intellectual thinking brain, but I don't have it right here, that is not knowing. I want you to get to the place of absolutely knowing in your heart that you are one with spirit, that you are a part of spirit, that you have that unity with spirit. That's where, when you get to that place of absolute knowing in your heart, that's when you feel that energy shift. And then you go and you speak your affirmation or your realization about yourself, the truth about your being. Just as I did, 25, 30 years ago with, quote, the diagnosis, or 2 diagnoses there were. I spoke the truth and the essence of the health of me as seen in the divine, as me being part of the divine. I spoke that, and I wasn't going to back down. I literally, every single day, affirmations, prayer, diligence with it. With me having a healthcare background, I'm a registered nurse by education, I knew exactly what the road would be if they were going to put me on those drugs. But I also had enough spiritual development and growth from my Science of Mind training from 20 or 30 years ago to know that we are part of this universal spirit. We are in it. Not can we only just tap into it, we are in it. We are part of it. We have the same characteristics. They're not as powerful as the universal spirit, but we have the same characteristics. So, we begin right where we are, and we begin to daily realize more of the truth. See your life as you desire it to be without any sense of worry or hurry. Allow the law to work for you. Spiritual energy is infinite, and its tendency is to be expressed. There's always enough to spare and enough to share. It's our attitude that can cause a feeling of restriction or a feeling of abundance. The Science of Mind shows us how to use our minds to create our experience of reality. We can use it more fully in our lives through daily spiritual practice. We can create a vision for our lives and live that vision to the fullest extent. Let us say yes to the divine creative impulse within us today and every single day. So if you have a great sense of the divine presence, whenever it is coupled with a definite knowledge of the universal law of mind, that's when you'll have the greatest power. Not over the law, but the law working through you. The law working through you. And this was actually the secret power of Jesus. He knew this. He absolutely knew that there was something greater than him that worked through him. He got himself out of the way, and he actually allowed that, whatever in the Christian religion we would call it the Father, we would call it God or Spirit, the divine love to work through him. Step into that knowing of the oneness and the unification, absolutely knowing the truth of our being, recognizing the universal laws govern everything. All of us, everyone, every situation, every person, everything. And that universal mind or laws operate on a belief, the size of our beliefs or our mental equivalent, and absolutely know that you are, I am, and we are all in this universal mind. Believe there is lack and there will be lack. Believe there's prosperity and there will be prosperity. Don't doubt. Don't create and plant that seed and then pull the seed out and check to see how it's growing. All right? Don't, cover it up and say, I don't believe, or I hope it will manifest. Use the power of mind because you are in that power of mind. Your word. There's 2 words that I think that have the most power in our lives. 2 simple words. And I think it was given to Moses. And it was I am. Because anytime we speak the I am, we are speaking whatever that is into our life. I am happy, I am sad, I am tired, I am loved. Whatever we are speaking into that universal mind to be manifest and brought back to us. So I would encourage you that it's not only about the words that you speak, the thoughts that you think, it's about the feelings you have about them, okay? And it also is not from the intellectual standpoint of just thinking, but it's coming from the heart, the absolute heart of absolutely knowing that you are one with Spirit, that we are one with Spirit, that Spirit can work in and through and as us in order to manifest. So using that law, I would encourage you, pick the practices that work for you. Don't, take 1 or 2, start to work with them, add the ones in that you feel that you can do, and start to work with them, and you're going to see some changes in your life. So that's our Science of Mind, how to use it today. So I want to thank you very much. All right, I want to thank you very much. I'm going to bring Cheryl up. All right, just centering in. I want you to take a deep breath. Centering in this place right here, right now. In this space of absolute love, where there's one power, one presence that moves in and throughout everything. Every circumstance, every situation, every person. But I am one with this one power, one spirit that moves in and throughout everything. In an absolute knowing, I speak this word, that as I move in, through, and use these spiritual principles, that spirit mirrors back to me exactly what I have put into the law, into spirit. That every day we experience the manifesting of everything that is good and great. Let us all plant good seeds out there for ourselves, for others, for this country, for this city, for this universe. Seeds of love, seeds of joy, seeds of hope, seeds of peace, seeds of all good things. And as we nourish those, we absolutely know that the law is perfect and that the law will do its work. And we will experience the results of those laws being manifested into all good things, not only into our own lives, but also into the lives of others, into the lives of the whole world. It is with great thanksgiving that I give thanks for everyone here today. Give thanks for Reverend Laura on her safe travels. Give thanks for her and all the joy and everything she's brought to this center. Give thanks for our practitioners, our service team, our music, everyone that helps with this center. Absolutely knowing that Spirit is at work in and through this center, I release my word into the law, absolutely knowing that it is so, and together we say, so it is.
I am alive, I am alive, I am alive in this world. I am alive, I am alive, I am alive in this world. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine. You are alive, you are alive, you are alive in this world. You are alive, you are alive, you are alive in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. We are alive. We are alive. We are alive. We are alive in this world. We are alive. We are alive. We are alive in this world. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright. And we shine, and we shine, and we shine, and we shine so bright.
Beautiful, thank you. All right, it's time for a thank you. So it's time for our offering, so that if you would just take your offering and hold it to your heart and repeat after me. The divine love as me
As me,
blesses and multiplies
blesses and multiplies
all that I have,
all that I have,
all that I give,
all that I give,
and all that I circulate,
and all that I circulate,
and so it is.
and so it is.
You are the heart,
You are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and who you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world.
For these gifts and so much more, for the blessing of this center, all these gifts, the financial conscious contributions, I give thanks for this and so much more. Blessing this center, blessing all that enter and leave this center, blessing this community as we express the divine love in and throughout this community. I give thanks for this and for everything, and so it is.
And so it is. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and who we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world, a blessing to the world.
Thank you. All right, announcements. All right, mark this date down. The annual membership meeting is March 17th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. At that time, we're going to have election of officers. So we do have an opening for 2 officers. One would be a vice president. One would be the secretary. We need a couple of people to bring those gifts into our center for the core council, or the board of directors as it's also called. And that will occur. You're going to be seeing just shortly, Reverend Laura's going to have some applications for you to fill out, and so we're looking for some leadership in those areas. All right, and before March 17th, I want you to mark another date down because it did not get added to the newsletter yet. You're going to receive a special announcement. February 22nd, which will be on a Friday night, will be Reverend Laura's installation. So mark that date down, and there will be an announcement going out about that too. So upcoming classes. Foundations Science of Mind is coming up starting Tuesday, February the 19th. This is a certificated class. Now, if you're thinking about running for an office and you've not taken any of the Science of Mind classes now, there is a requirement to run for office. You have to take at least 1 class. So if you want to run for office, this is an opportunity also to sign up for that class, because you can just get in, complete the class, and then move through the class. And it is really a fantastic class about the foundations of Science of Mind. Science of Mind discussion group. So that's been hosted by Gwen Hadley and Chris, and they tell me it's a lively discussion, and they've really had some great discussions. And that is on Mondays from 4 to 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m. Then we have the Book of the Month Club, and that's a book study, and this final week will be the Science of Mind. But starting in February, the new book will be Beyond Religion, Ethics for a Whole World by the Dalai Lama. That'll be the next book that Reverend Laura is going to be discussing. And that is on Wednesdays from 2:30 until 4 p.m. Meditation and More is on Wednesday nights from 7 to 8 p.m. Reverend Laura introduces various types of meditation where you might not have experienced a certain type of meditation. There are many, many types of meditation, and I know Reverend Laura knows 30 of them. Okay? All right, Reverend Laura's office hours have changed a bit. They are now Tuesday through Thursday, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. I believe she has a sign-up sheet on the table back here. Tithing letters will go out by email this week, and then anyone who did not receive them by email can also pick them up. They'll be available next week. So the tithing letters will go out it's actually before the end of the month, so we're just right under the wire by email, and then if you haven't received them, they will be available here next week. After service, please check out our bookstore. We have some wonderful books for those of you who are visitors. You also have in your welcome packet a coupon for a complimentary book, and then just check it out in the bookstore. Personal prayer, 1-minute miracle prayer will be with Mary Klein, and it will be in this room right behind me. Mary Klein will be available for that for anyone who wants prayer. That's a version of our affirmative prayer, and Mary will be doing that. Coffee and goodies. If you would like to bring coffee and goodies any Sunday, you're welcome to. Just place them in the kitchen. We have people that bring coffee and goodies there, and so be sure to join us and to get to know some people, all right, that you may not know. Our closing affirmation. Would you please stand? All right, this is a repeat after me. All right, repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me.
Something wonderful is happening to me.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my finances.
Life is in my finances.
Life is in my relationships.
Life is in my relationships.
Life is in my work.
Life is in my work.
I think it.
I think it.
I feel it.
I feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I accept it.
I accept it.
And I express it.
And I express it.
Just the way it is becoming.
Just the way it is becoming.
And so it is.
And so it is.
It's a new day. Today is a new life. My way and jobs, they are no match for me. I take my faith inside because I know that I am creating my own destiny. The past is gone and has no power here. I'm a mighty force in atmosphere. So I choose to grow, yet I choose to die. Longing will not be mine. It's a new day. Today is a new life. My way. Down there are no match for me. I'll take my faith and I, because I know that I am creating my own destiny. Right here, right now, I claim that I am whole. There is nothing else that I need to know. So I affirm my worth, yes, I'm deserving of God's goodness abounding in love. It's a new day. Today it's a new life. My way and down there are no match for me. I'll take my faith and I, because I know that I am creating my own destiny. As I believe it, so it will be.
Thank you, sir. That made sense.